Okay, so I just got back from Black Widow. And before I get my thoughts onto Black Widow, I have a story to tell. So I'm in the movie theater, and um, there's not a lot of people in there. I don't know if a lot of people don't know if movie theaters are open now that the pandemic is coming, hopefully, into its final leg. But yeah, there's only like, I don't know, 20 of us in there on a Saturday afternoon and so forth. And the previews start up. Okay, whatever. And the previews for this movie, Black Widow, are things like Paw Patrol and Sing 2. And I can't quite remember the other ones, but they were very kiddie friendly. And with each one that came by, I was like, well, I mean, it's a Marvel movie, so why wouldn't kids go see it? It's a matinee, so again, why wouldn't they advertise kids movies during a matinee? So I didn't really think anything of it. It's like, okay, well, fine, whatever. Um, and then it goes into the regular, please enjoy your show, take out your garbage, blah, 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 stuff like that. And then the Universal logo comes across the screen. So my thought was, Universal? Like, this is a Marvel film, obviously. Disney, all that stuff. I can't imagine why Universal would be like that. And then there's no Marvel logo either. So what the? And then we have a cartoon. So I first thought, oh, okay, so I guess there's like a short in front of Black Widow, like they used to do many, many, many years ago. Like Pixar does. Well, no, they have like their Pixar shorts before the movie. But no, we just started watching Boss Baby. I think it's Boss Baby the sequel, right? Now I did look around the theater, and there were some younger people. So I thought, oh no, am I in the wrong theater? Because that has happened before. I went to the wrong theater to a show one time. So I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna. I mean, it's supposed to start the regular time. Even if I'm in the wrong theater, I'm pretty sure it's just previews and I wouldn't have missed much. So I go and I leave. But as I'm walking out of the theater, like I passed this gentleman and it looked like three kids, and they were all just as confused as me. So I was like, "Are you here to see Black Widow?" Yeah. Oh, okay. So yeah, they played the wrong film. Um, that was interesting, but whatever. I went out. I told some of the employees. They quickly stopped it, apologized, and we didn't get the previews for Black Widow, so I don't know if that's good or bad, but whatever. We got the right movie. So, what are my thoughts on Black Widow? I mean, I liked it. I liked it. Would I recommend it? Sure. Um, the one thing that sticks out in my mind right now about the Black Widow movie is after watching Fast 9, I very much appreciated Black Widow a lot more. For one thing, it didn't have the over the top action sequences. They could have done that. They could have done the over the top action sequences where she does something marvelous, defying gravity, all that type of stuff. No, they don't do that. Um, they keep it. They do have over the top, sort of not over the top, but they do have large action sequences and large bombastic explosions and all stuff like that. But they kept it pretty grounded, and I liked that. Um, Before I go further into the movies, one thing I just want to sort of get off my mind in terms of the Marvel movies is that I hope what they did here was sort of like a settling down of the Marvel movies. Because for the past 21, 22 movies, things have been kind of escalating. They've been getting higher, more bombastic explosions, and all that type of stuff. So I thought, well, they can't keep that up forever, right? So what are they, like, are we going to get like Fast and the Furious where it's just absolutely ludicrous what they're doing? But no. They brought it down. Yes, they had some high flying action, some explosions, a breakout scene, all that type of stuff. But it was all relatively low key in terms of the other Marvel films. And I liked that. I did. It was a 2 hour film, 2 hour something film, and it didn't feel slow at all. There was one or two places where it was like, okay, we get the exposition. Yes, we get family. Yes, we get all this. Move on. But other than that, the time went by very, very, very quickly. So I did like it. Um, I mean, I don't want to go too much into spoilers about it, but it's essentially about Natasha's family. Like, I originally thought it was going to be a prequel, right? I thought it was going to be um, uh, kind of like her beginnings, where she came from, all that type of stuff. And they really don't go into that. It's actually a midquel movie, is what this is. Um, Basically, it's set just after um, Captain America: Civil War, and Natasha's on the run. They mentioned Captain America a lot, all that, and they mentioned that half the Avengers are in jail and the other half don't like each other and all that type of stuff. So that's where it's set, and they have this kind of little mini story about um, basically the widow program that Natasha came from is still going, is still up and running, and the MacGuffin for this film, because it's a Marvel movie, it has to have some sort of MacGuffin, is a special powder that will wipe out these mind controls they have on all these widows around the world. I got the gist from the movie. I might have misconstrued this, but it seemed to me like Natasha was trained, and then when she defected, the people that ran the widow program kind of changed course and still trained these young girls to be assassins and spies and whatnot, but incorporated a mind control mechanism so that they couldn't defect like Natasha did. I think that's what the sequence of events was. So yeah, they're all the widows that are currently out there. They're all mind controlled right now, and there's this powder that when you blow it in their face, whatnot, uh, deprograms the mind control stuff, and they get to go live their lives, do whatever. But special skills they've been trained to murder and infiltrate. But whatever. That seems like that's could be even worse. But anyways, um, and yeah, this basically the movie is just it's about Natasha, not her original family, but a collaborated family that is brought together when she's really young. Collaborated, I mean, is in like the mother, father, and sister she has weren't actually her mother, father, and sister, and she knew it. They were all undercover spies from Russia. Um, but we aren't given that information until halfway through the film. We're just introduced to Natasha, a little girl who we assume is her sister, a man and a woman who we assume is her mother and father. But it turns out, no, they were all spies um, thrown together to find something in Ohio. I don't know what it was. It had something to do with the mind control system. And basically, it's a reunion film. We have Black Natasha, and then she goes to meet every one of her family and kind of brings them together, and then they go storm the castle. That's basically it. A basic film, but an enjoyable film. Very enjoyable. I mean, there's a couple of things that I was kind of like. There's one part in the film that I really that really stood out to me early on, and that's when Natasha has met with her sister, and they're on the run, but they're on the move. They're going to find, I believe it was the father next, and they stop in at this gas station. Now, in any other action movie, you know, you need to have your action and your lulls, and in your lull points is when you give the exposition, the backstory, how they feel, what they think, stuff like that. Fine, you know, standard action thing. But the interesting thing is that these two women are at a gas station, and they clearly show someone behind the counter at the gas station. And they're talking about how they've been trained by this elite Russian mob to be trained killers. And they literally say that to each other. One's like, well, I mean, you've been a killer for a lot longer than I have. Yeah, but you're a more efficient killer than I am. And they don't address the guy behind the counter who is clearly hearing all this. Who's clearly now maybe he didn't speak English, but I thought it was it was in Budapest, so maybe he didn't speak English. But still, to risk that type of conversation in front of a citizen and not even making a joke about it. Like, I thought at least they would have had this conversation, this exposition about their past, about where they came from and who they've killed and all that type of stuff. And then the last shot would just be like the guy behind the counter just kind of. Right? And Natasha just I don't know, takes out a knife and just and walks off or something like that. But they don't address it. They just have this conversation about being elite assassins and spies and whatnot, and they move on. So that was kind of odd. But I mean, it's a minor quibble, really, to be honest with you. Another small thing, and I'm gonna get this is now gonna get into spoilers, just in case anybody is wondering here. Again, they were meeting the family, reuniting with the family, whatnot, and they reunite with the mom, played by Rachel Wise or Vise, however you want to pronounce it, and we established that she was the head scientist of the main bad guy that they're trying to go after. They're trying to stop his widow program and all that type of stuff. And unless it's on the cutting room floor, they don't explain why the lead scientist in this organization is just on a farm somewhere and isn't working for the Red Room. The Red Room is where they train the widows and all that type of stuff. And even if she's retired, you would figure that she would have security. She would be not afraid for her life, but kind of I've moved on. I don't have any connections to that. But no, she's just on this farm training pigs. She's still connected to the program, but not really working on the program. It's very weird, this, and because they use her to get to the main guy, right? Yes, I know she was Natasha's mom and all that type of stuff, but it was it felt like a very flimsy thread to get our main character to infiltrate the bad guy's lair, But other than that, I mean, it was a great film. I thought it was a great action film. I do notice that what's her name? Scarlett Johansson is an executive producer in this film, so methinks that. I mean, they've been talking about doing a Black Widow movie for years, ever since she showed up in Iron Man 2. They're like, oh, we're going to see if we can get our standalone Black Widow film, like a first female-led superhero movie. And then they came out Miss Marvel and blah, blah, whatnot. But I get the sense that Scarlett Johansson didn't, not that she didn't want to do it, but she wanted to have more control. She didn't want to just be a puppet in this one. So I get the feeling that this is going to be like a one-and-done film. And Scarlett Johansson just wanted the extra paycheck as an executive producer. So, other than that, yeah. The stinger at the end, I'm not going to spoil. It has a connection to the Falcon and Winter Soldier TV series on Disney Plus, and could potentially lead into, I'm not going to spoil it, but into another upcoming Disney Plus TV series. I don't know if I'm going to like that. But we'll see. So anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.